Camera setup. When setting a camera up, there are many factors to consider to ensure the footage comes out correct and valid in accordance with the given test. As if a camera is set up in an undesirable manner, the footage can come out in a confusing manner, which can lead to misrepresenting and misleading the researchers when they analyse it. To begin with, I outline the types of cameras which can use when recording these types of tests. Typically, there are two main types of cameras which can be used: 3D Vicon cameras, which record a 360-degree video of the area, or a typical 2D camera. Firstly, I will explain the 3D camera, which are commonly used to track a subject's bodily motion. They achieve this by placing motion detectors on key points around the subject's body. Then the camera is placed around the room, will track and record these motion capture balls on the subject's body, allowing the subject's motion to be reconstructed virtually in 3D, as seen in the images presented on the slide on the right hand side, using software such as Dartfish and Quintek. Digital reconstruction can then be carefully analysed in a 360-degree view in depth to measure the subject's motion, such as angles of their joints when jumping, etc., which can be very useful as extremely in-depth data presents every single movement, which can be used to understand how and why people perform in the way they do. For example, a researcher could find that a performer shoots in a certain way as they lean back on their back foot. These types of analyzations are difficult to be drawn from 2D cameras. In response to the 2D camera, researchers often use extremely high-tech, expensive slow-motion cameras which are able to capture every single frame of motion and play them in slow motion, so the performer's movements can be analysed frame by frame, enabling the researchers to capture every single movement which may have been missed otherwise. The main reason a slow-motion camera is different is the amount of pictures they take per second. Typically, video cameras take 20 images per second, which are played together to creating video, whereas a slow motion camera takes up to 1,000 to 2,000 images per second, which can be played back slowly to create slow motion, enabling the researchers to watch back every single micro movement to ensure nothing is missed, as the motions are broken down into every single frame. Which, when recording footage, the main aspect of the setup to consider are the physical placement and setup of the camera, the adjustment to the actual camera settings. Firstly, in response to the camera, the main factor to consider when setting up a camera are the angle and the view of the camera, which is vital to establish a good angle to place the camera, as placing the camera in the wrong angle to the performers can lead to perspective error, where performers may look like they are across a certain point, but they haven't, but it's just because of the angle the camera's looking at, they may be misleading. Therefore, typically the cameras are placed in the centre of the performance area to ensure an even view over the entire area. For example, if a researcher was recording a 20-metre sprint, it would be most likely they place the camera on the 10-metre point, so that the beginning is equal distance from the end. Moving forward onto the view of the camera, is essential that the camera is set up so that it has a clear, unobstructed view of the entire area which is wanted to be filmed. For example, no trees are blocking their footage. To create footage which can easily be analysed by the researcher to assess the performers and abilities and skill levels, the combination of both the camera angles and the camera view, if set up correctly, can lead to high quality, valid, reliable video footage for performance analysis. Furthermore, it is also vital to ensure that the camera is level to ensure level images / recordings. Most high-level cameras are fitted with a spirit level, which will enable the researcher to adjust the camera in a level state to prevent crooked images, which may lead to a perspective error when analysing the footage. Moving forwards onto the setup of the camera settings. The main two areas of the camera setup which are central to creating an efficient setup are frame rate and shutter speed. I'll begin by explaining the importance of shutter speed. Shutter speed refers to how many times a camera shutter opens and closes a second, allowing light to enter the lens. Shutter speed is directly linked to clarity and quality of the images, which is because a slow shutter speed is often linked to blurry, unclear images. This effect can be used in photography. As an effect. An example of this would be can be seen in the image above, presented of the fans on the left-hand side with the slow shutter speed and the blurry fan. However, when taking analytical images, it is of the highest importance that all the images are clear to enable them to be analysed without any unclear areas, so nothing is missed. As a result, within the data collection and recording, it is most likely that cameras will be set up with a high shutter speed, such as 1,000 images per second, to ensure every aspect of the image is as clear as possible, to make an analysis of the image as easy as possible, to ensure no key elements of the image are missed. However, a negative response to fast shutter speed arises when the lighting is poor. As images with fast shutter speeds in dark conditions often come out very dark. This is because, as the shutter speed is so quick, very little light is allowed into the camera when the lens is open, leading to significantly darker images than a slower shutter speed, where the shutter is open for longer, allowing greater amounts of light to enter the camera. To avoid this issue, it is important to always shoot in well-lit areas when using a fast shutter speed. So when the researcher sets up their test, it is important that the area is well lit.